trying to get a re-election for a second term, or you'll go around serving Kenyans as expected of a CS? I think, Robert, that was your question. Yes.
So, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think for the last 2.5 years, I have given my support to the county in a way of prayer. And it's
good to acknowledge that there's a member of the public who has sent in exactly the same question. So just go ahead and answer.
Yes. So I've said I support my county and I would want it to prosper. The choice of what would happen in 2.5 years, including for all the members who are here, I'm not too sure you have the answers yourself. So I think these answers will come as we move forward, and I will be well advised, including the appointing office, including the people of Nakuru. But I think it would be suicidal for any person, including yourself, Mr. Chairman, to say bye to the people of Bungoma. You'll never want to see them again. It is for them that you're here.
Yes.
Point of order, Speaker.
Yes, proceed.
I think the Honorable Lee would have just said, I'm not going to spend government money in running my politics in Nakuru. Yes. That's all. Whatever happens in 27 exactly, nobody knows. But you cannot spend government money, Minister, to run your politics in Nakuru. That's what Kenyans were concerned. Oh. Thank you, Speaker. Okay.
I'm well guided. I have no intention of that nature.
Chairman, I've not asked my questions.
You did.
What I did was just a follow-up question to the. It was an intervention, Honorable Chairman.
He has not finished. He has not answered Owen Bayer's question, and Ferdinand.
We have not finished.
Yes.
I was going up.
So,
okay.
Speed it up.
The point is that we will not spend inordinate part of our time doing local politicking, but we will benefit Nakuru as much as any other part of this country, and we will forever be grateful to the people of that place. The Honorable Baye, the issue of people leaving the country, I think much as it is true that there are some people or some companies that have left the country, I would always want to see, is a door, there'll be always somebody coming and another one going. If we over-focus and create a perception, people are leaving Kenya, and the people who are saying that are Kenyans, we are also participating in creating a negative attitude about our country. So we need to say, 2 came, the 3 went. GTC was not here the other day. All these big Chinese companies that have come, and many other buy locals that have started. So I will not sit on the side of saying companies are leaving Kenya. I will say some are leaving, others are coming. We have many pharmaceutical companies, including from the US, that are setting up at Tattoo City. Many others are coming towards our economic zones that we have already set aside. So I would not say that's not an entirely correct statement, but you have tended to focus on the exit while giving a blind eye to those who are busy coming to bring money and bring investment to our country. Then, so the issue is also to come up with a team, and we plan to make Ken Invest, which is the main agency responsible for attracting investment, to equip them so that you have a one-stop shop when you come. Because you don't want to come and you're told, go to Kiambu County, the next day you're told, go to NEMA, the other day you're told, go to this agency. So we should have officers who can hold this new investor. Remember, they don't even know the country until maybe 1 year, and then you can file a report. If they have an issue, we can look into it. But to channel our interest into company has come, we have learned, you can partner with this cooperative, and together we can move forward. So the thing is, how do we structure investments so that we do not end up having a tag that can adversely affect our investments?
Chairman, I just want to put a rider on that question, because I see one of the reasons why we lose some foreign investors, it is because some of them, they've been asking about having what we call tax holidays. But there has been a lot of taxation on them. So maybe how do you balance in ensuring that we have these tax holidays and at the same time we still collect revenue? I think this is one of the areas why we lose some foreign investors, and there must be some mitigation on that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So while getting to that, there was the issue of KEBS and counterfeits. I think one of the biggest challenges we have with KEBS is that the standards are there, but enforcement requires support from other agencies. So I think moving forward, we need to look for a way in which we can give KEBS the teeth to bite. So for example, if they discover there's an anomaly with a particular product, they need to go through interior, gate officers, and so on. So I think the issue of enforcing so that the steel we produce or the cement is to the highest standard. And this will help us to instill trust and confidence with investors, because some of the key areas where we require government intervention is in standards. No single company can ensure the standard across the board, but government can do that, and KEBS is up to the job. But we need to review its mandate, especially with respect to enforcement. Then there is the issue of tax holidays asked by the Honorable Mishi. It is true that there are companies that come and do not strictly fit within our special economic zones or export processing zone, and I think some of these things can be looked on a case by case. But I think we also need to look at what would they otherwise be getting in other countries vis-a-vis what we are giving them, and ensure that at all times we are competitive. And I think one of the most important things is to learn how some of the major economies in the world operate. They have big companies, say if you talk of Korea and the Samsung, and the Samsung has over 500,000 employees, but has another over 200 companies that rely on it. These 200 are actually SMEs. So also if you're able to empower some of the mid-level, they will also come along with the small companies, and together we can move forward. And I think these are conversations we should have. And closely related to that, especially for foreign investment, is that there's always been an old debate. Even as you bring foreigners, you need to direct them which sectors to go. Because you don't want a situation where they come and put a butchery and a hardware next to one run by locals. So I think within our investment policy, we also need to ensure that we don't just attract investment, we also direct it where it can be most beneficial and protect our local investments. Then,
Speaker, may I ask a question? Honorable Lee, one of the issues, you've talked about various strategies, but I've not heard you say anything about incentives to foreign investors, like giving them the land, giving them tax breaks. If you could just elaborate on that.
Through the chair, I think also in the trade, in the Ministry of Trade, we have
Members,
canvassed.
you are now just shooting questions without going through the chair. That's not our modus operandi, but go ahead, Mukami.
Yeah, what I wanted to tell the nominee, in the trade, in the Ministry of Trade, we have canvassed. Those are the ones who are supposed to guide whoever is coming to invest in this country. But I was also thinking in future, we may think about the foreign investors who are coming here in this country. They must incorporate, we cooperate them with locals to avoid whatever they are earning in this country. You know, like Chinese, they
We
come
have a
here.
law on local content, don't we?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It's just enforcement.
Okay, you enforce that.
Yes. Mary, ask your question.
Thank you,
One
Chairman.
question.
No, Chair had not asked. Allow me, I'll not go to the preamble. I'll go straight. I have three. Chair, number one, we talked about on imports, the summit named them, that are impacting negatively on the local industries. My question is, we may even impose taxes to discourage importation of those substandard goods. We may even do whatever it takes, but what are you going to do as the minister if you nominee, you are approved to promote local content and encourage use of locally produced goods? Because if you do not change the mindset, then even if we do all that, that may be in vain. Secondly, with the high rate of unemployment, what programs for skills development are you going to support? Although I know that will cut across other sectors and what have you. Because why are we producing graduates for opportunities that do not exist. If we do not need psychologists as a country, why are we continuing to produce them? Why are we continuing to produce accountants to come and stay at home for 10, 15 years unemployed from the time they graduated? I think that is also an area I feel you need to give us your thoughts as you take up the ministry if approved. And the last one is, for Kenya to achieve significant industrialization by the year 2030, and you've already alluded to the need to address the challenges in the manufacturing center, high cost of production, deficits in infrastructural, in infrastructure within the sector, and case among them is the sugarcane industry in the Western region. Those are some of the challenges that have been bedeviling that sector. So if we approve you, what are you going to do to address these challenges across? Thank you.
Last, Naisula.
Thank you, Chairman. Listening to the nominee, and even from his preamble, he seems to have thought about the challenges that are there that hinder manufacturing. You talked about high cost of electricity, taxation, and all. What are some, because when you speak here, we think tomorrow we're taking off if you get nominated and approved. What are some of the challenges that you foresee that might hinder all these good things that you've talked to us about here once you are nominated and appointed?
Can you answer those? Mishi, you have a question? I thought you have asked. Okay, go ahead. You are a joyrider to many questions.
Okay, it was somebody's putting a it was not my question. Thank you, Honorable Chairman. Honorable, the nominee was once the governor of, and during that time you facilitated the Bahati industry. Which my question is, how will you replicate this model at a national level by promoting the growth of the leather industry in regions where we feel that we have potential for raw material sourcing? I'm looking in the area like the Ukambani and even Northeastern. My last question, you also successfully attracted investment in this Nakushal economic zone. We are having what we call the Kundu special economic zone, and it is been established in my constituency. That is Likoni constituency. This proposal has been there for the last previous two regimes. Today, it's hearing Dongokundu Special Economic Zone has been achieved. You apply. We are actualized this. Maybe, do you know the state project? Budget for this project will just remain another public relation.
Chair, can you answer one from the public?
Just let him finish that first.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Ferdinand. And that's about our exports to the Middle East, and specifically beef and goat, where we really used to do you hold the animals before you sell. And the shop also about 5 hours by air to the sea, maybe 10. That has serious. They can't grow food in the desert. However, they have a lot of money. They have a lot of resources. So Kenya is for food, including, I want to commend the MP for bringing that. So some of the issues that have been conversed, including hindrances to opening those markets, included this. So we send our bill, all that, and when it gets there, we are told it has this problem. The challenge is that when that season, I will not say it is from export. X or Y, they will say it is from Kenya. So Kenya is one source. So if we also don't clean our market, so that we say we need half a million goats every month, and that can keep all the pastoralist areas busy for. I think we need a better pool understand what reason are we for diseases. Take care of my animals, and you take care of yours. As soon as they interact, the problem will come back. So I think we need an honest conversation, and unfortunately, your food comes from very far to the Middle East, and we are just next door. And our young people are living here to go and work there as house girls and other jobs. Yet they can work at comfort of and be. So I think there is a bit of need to change those dynamics. The that the influence in the yin of and be looking. Parliament align ourselves in where secure we can serve. If we can't support, should we be looking and acts that we need? Even of our products being able to change expire from related to the issue.
For treatment, the export actually healthy. Is a
you're not allowed to
exporting and have good hooves
now the life that was able to provide ways to say markets to compensate component go on a case by case depending on the market. My submission is that has a food deficit, especially those who are close to us. Of very good working population, educated, ready to do every fact. Some of the creativity we have seen in the social space, if it was converted to selling beef in Masai Mara, to selling our tourism, to doing the next big movie about Lion King change. So we just need to reconfigure ourselves, but you have all that it takes for us to progress. Mr. Chairman, I think I've answered the Honorable Ferdinand of the impact, the Honorable Mary, the impact of imports to the local market, and then that. I think we've already said this, I mean, there's no